Hello there, my name is Xavier, and this is my tech story.
Dear me, 3 to 6 months. Watch how I make you proud.
Welcome back to the second video of this channel. My name is Xavier, and here I'm going to tell you about my story of how I got into IT. Brace yourselves, it's not as glamorous as I think some people make it, but nonetheless, this is how I got in. So we'll start from the very beginning. I actually started working at the age of 12. And for a long time, that was something I was really proud of. It was something that was like a badge of honor. And quite honestly, it helped me get a series of jobs after that, one after the other, working just regular minimum wage gigs, either in retail or in logistics or anywhere I can get in. And it wasn't until I started getting older, when I was getting more serious to get kind of settled down, that I realized I need to make a change. And so I worked at retail for so many years. I think, almost 10 years it felt like, and I wanted to move into a more regular 9 to 5. And so I got my start by working with my current organization, moving into the government space. And I finally got my 9 to 5, got my holidays, and I was set. And I said, if anything, I'll make this my career path. Well, turns out that based off of the options that I was given, everything seemed like it would either end up in management or something very specialized that I wasn't really prepared to go back to school for. And so as luck would have it, I bounced around, used my work ethic to kind of get from position to position, which is not always the hardest in the government because, it's easy to work, being honest. But nonetheless, I got my opportunity to work under a good boss of mine who was really into tech, really was proficient in that field, and who was doing a lot of changes or making a lot of changes in the current unit that I was working in. So I learned a lot from her, and she actually gave me my first start in tech. She tasked me with creating an Access database, so Microsoft Access database, and moving that or coupling that with a Microsoft SharePoint site that she had started, but because of the amount of work that she had, didn't really get a chance to follow through on. So needless to say, after so many long weeks and just kind of looking blank at the screen, I finally got something that looked halfway decent. No coding, but still I was proud of it. I created some rules, created some permissions, created some document libraries. Your boy felt good. And so that was my first real project. And I got known by all the other assistants and people that were in my role as kind of like the SharePoint guy. And I got so good at it, well, at least relative to everybody else I worked with, that I actually taught a course to some people in my unit. It was kind of impromptu, but I did, I think, 2 or 3 courses. And one of the guys really vibed with it really well. He really appreciated me taking the time. And this was someone who had actually saw me move around in the organization. And so one thing led to another, and that really went over, and we started utilizing it. And I felt pretty good. I said, well, I can start learning some other things on the side. I'm not really sure this is what I want to do full time, but nonetheless, I'm glad and proud of what I did. Now, fast forward, things are starting to change. My boss is letting me know, hey, that she may be looking for something different. And it kind of got me panicked. When you're working with a good manager, like a really good manager who supports you, who actually pushes you, but can give you defined kind of tasks to do that'll get you to the next level, it's hard to let that go. And so I was like, well, any opportunities where you're going? Unfortunately, no. And kind of in that moment, she was like, well, you're pretty good with tech. Let's see if there's any openings around here. I know some people, I'll connect you. And I was a little hesitant because I just did a SharePoint site. Like, that's not really coding. I wasn't doing anything too crazy, but nonetheless, she believed in me, and which was, I guess, more than enough for me to feel like, okay, I'll check out some things. And lo and behold, in my organization, a position becomes available. Now, this position involved basic level 1 work, but for me, it looked like I was totally underqualified to even apply. But with some prompting, she pushed me to apply, got my resume together, did the thing, and got an interview, got hired, and almost 4 years later, here I am in this role. So that's kind of how I broke into tech. And I'm not going to lie, for the first month, I felt like I was scared. I was scared to take calls because we did phone support. I was scared to reply to emails. We worked with big time people in our organization to support them. And the impact of not supporting them could mean like real trouble down the line. So I was just nervous. I didn't take calls for about 2 weeks. I shadowed one of my good mentors at the time, who, basically helped me know, like, look, man, it's easy. You can do this, and eventually I got through with it, and I got on phones and I started really liking the experience. And for me, I don't know how you feel, but whenever I start something new, I am extremely nervous. It was like that when I worked in the operations side of my organization. It was like that when I worked in retail, like at Whole Foods or Target. It was like that when I taught, when I was a tutor, or when I led a classroom. I've always felt extremely nervous, but those nerves really helped me kind of hone in and focus on the things that I can do so that I don't look like a complete fool. And that's what helped me. And what I started learning is that throughout my time working and supporting users over the phone, my special power began really connecting with, one, my previous experience and understanding the urgency in which they need to get things done, but two, also being able to walk them through steps on their own. Because one thing that I realized is that the calls are never going to go down. The demands are never going to go down. And everyone wants to feel like a specialist. Everyone wants to feel like they can accomplish some things on their own. They've already waited an hour to contact us or to reach us, and they want to know that they can do this themselves without having to call again. So I used to implement a lot of teaching in the call, walking them through steps, making little videos, impromptu, sitting at them, and then encouraging them to teach their team. And over time, I applied this same kind of strategy for new hires that were coming into our unit that were learning and who may have had a lot of experience, but not with the proprietary stuff we were working with, or no experience whatsoever, but had a lot of good customer service skills that had good work ethic. And so eventually I went from being this scared rookie who didn't want to take calls, who didn't want to troubleshoot anything for fear of breaking stuff, who was constantly over someone's cubicle like, can you help me with this? Can you help me with this? To the guy who really emphasized documentation, structure, and went from being known as the as the SharePoint guy to more the knowledge management guy. And that's kind of what I do in my role now. I create a lot of articles. I still support customers, but I do a lot of the documentation and create articles that can help other analysts when they're taking calls and supporting users. So in a nutshell, that's my history with tech. That's my experience. And it's what I'm hoping will get me to that next level, taking those experiences, taking that confidence and watching my journey from here to there and showing myself that it's real, and also showing you that it's real. Because I can tell you for sure that no matter what background you come from, no matter what your expertise is now with tech, you can always learn more. I mean, you can always learn more. And so hopefully my story kind of gave you some perspective about what's possible. And again, my story's just starting, just like yours is. So just want to share that with you. I want you to know where I come from. I'm not completely starting from zero, but I sure as hell feel like it sometimes. And that's not a very unique experience. You can ask anybody in tech, anytime they get into a new role, whether it's the technology or the work procedures or the team dynamic, you're always going to feel like you're new when you're starting a new role. And that's okay. The key is to really quiet your mind and hone in on the skills that you know will get you farther. In the next video, I'm actually going to talk about 4 skills that I think are really worthwhile to have. And they're not technical. They're just kind of intrinsic qualities, really, that anyone I think has, but that you really, really need when you want to be successful in this career. So my name is Xavier. I appreciate you checking out this video. As always, take care. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Dear me, 3 to 6 months. Watch how I make you proud.